Hey, what's up everybody? Prospector here with Watcher of Realms. Today we're checking out Eirlys, and we are on the test server, and this is a hero that's coming out very soon, and there's a few things I want to talk about. But anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Okay, Eirlys. Best that I could find, that's how you pronounce her name. But anyways, she is a healer and a very unique one. Pretty cool looking hero, I might add. I like the way the blue aesthetic with the mythical type style dress, everything going on with the staff. It looks really nice, honestly. But anyway, she is going to be Watcher and the North Throne faction. We do have some decent healers in the North Throne, including Eirlys as a tank. But otherwise, the same faction has Vortex, it has Gwendolyn, it has Sadie. There's plenty of good healers, but they don't quite bring the same thing to the table that this one does. They're all unique in their own way. This one's just a little bit different. Now for the Watcher faction, we do have much more limited, I think, besides the fact that there is going to be Eunomia. Eunomia is an extremely powerful healer, has dispels, just very solid unit in general with that bounce heal. It's very strong. And I would say that Eirlys probably sits in the same height level as Eunomia as far as how strong she is. But I would say also that this hero is a little more niche than Eunomia. That doesn't mean it's a bad hero or a bad healer or anything like that. It's a very powerful healer, and for what she does, it's quite incredible. That being said, I do think she's much more niche than your typical healer. It's gonna work for anybody trying to heal some heroes up. Don't worry. The heals are very strong. They're insane. There's other things being offered besides dispels and stuff like that. Anyways, let's get into the kit here really quickly. On a talent, when healing allies, applies Serene Breath to them and grants physical and magic damage reduction to allies with the Serene Breath. So when she applies Serene Breath, they get this physical damage reduction and magic damage reduction of 25%. It's super strong. It's like having DL Chen in her Serenade of Hope stance. But anyway, Serene Breath, when Eirlys heals allies with Serene Breath, she provides an extra 30% healing bonus. Up to 2 allies with Serene Breath can be on the field. This effect cannot be dispelled. Okay, so of course you want to make sure that if you're in DVG or arena, whatever, your tank is going to be the most main target you're going to try to target with this. But then again, whoever's in range, you don't really have control of that. Typically your tank is going to be taking the brunt of the damage, and this is going to be applied to that tank kind of by default. So that being said, it's really strong, and it gets that extra physical damage reduction. So when healing allies with Serene Breath, restores 2% rage to the caster. So she's gonna just keep building up her rage. Every time your tank is getting hit, it's getting hit consistently. She's gonna get more and more rage. It's just consistently going. Onto the basic. Single target heal applies 120% attack based healing multiplier to one ally in range. So it's a single target heal. We're not AoE healing anybody. There is chance for multiple targets to be healed at the same time, but that's through Serene Breath, okay? And then we have Sanctuary of Light. So this is where like the GVG thing kind of comes in. One ally in attack range can be immune to 1 instance of fatal damage. If the ally triggering this effect is with Serene Breath, also gains immunity to all damage for 5 seconds. This effect can be triggered at most 1 time every 50 seconds. So it's like every 50 seconds, can be immune to fatal damage, can become immune to all damage for 5 seconds afterwards if it has Serene Breath, which it typically will if it's a tank. And in this is where it just screams GVG, right? So yeah, it's going to be a definite GVG hero. You can see just how powerful this is. You have Lily, you have Cornelian, and this is going to put her as one of the best healers, probably the best healer for GVG going on in the future, and GVG is kind of picking up, so it's something to keep in mind. Anyways, Hymn of Prayer is the next passive. While the hero is on the field, allies recover an additional 1% rage per second. Just allies recover that 1% rage. Now, who else does something similar to this? We can go over to the healers here and just kind of do a little comparison here. We have Elowyn here. Applies a rage regen to all allies on the battlefield every 3 seconds. They get 1% rage per second. She's going to be giving 1% rage per second to all allies that are on the field. If she's on the field, okay? It's Elowyn type rage regen on top of everything else. But it gets better. So allies with Serene Breath, that 2 heroes on the battlefield that can have Serene Breath, recover 2% rage per second instead. So if you can imagine, like, you're Brook here, sitting there on the field tanking, you're applying Serene Breath consistently. He has his unyielding, he has his big old shield he puts out and freezes and all that good stuff. So he's gonna go through all that whenever the GVG enemies or whoever's attacking, the demons are attacking. And then if it gets past that, she's going to apply her own Sanctuary of Light, which is going to stop the fatal damage from happening, grant immunity for 5 seconds, and get his HP boosted back up. He's going to come back around. He's going to be ready for another ultimate. And then she's also going to be boosting his rage by 2% rage per second if he has Serene Breath, which he should all the time, and just consistently going into his ultimate. The same thing goes with Cyrus, just constantly respawning his skeleton super fast, right? It's crazy what she's going to be able to do in GVG. I can't stress this enough. Just from reading this kit, you guys know GVG even better than I do for the most part. And when it comes to this healer, I just can't see it being beat. The next best one I can think of is Carnelian, just for having that extra unyielding going on. Anyways, going on to the ultimate, because we were talking about that rage, and she also restores 2% rage to herself when she's healing allies with Serene Breath. So let's see how awesome that is. Litany of Mercy, 500 cost, so it's really cheap. We have a 300 rage to start off with, so she can get this ultimate off pretty early, but it applies Healing Prayer to one ally with the lowest HP percentage in range, which is probably going to be your tank, especially if you're building your GVT defenses properly. It's most likely going to be your tank, but it could be something else as well. What is Healing Prayer though? Let me see, move myself out of the way quick. When the bearer's HP drops below 75%, immediately restores HP equal to 400% of the caster's attack and removes this effect. So if it drops below 75%, your Brook here, your Cyrus, whatever, bam, 400% of the caster's attack is healed back into the hero. Typically, you can get right around 20k attack on Eirlys. So you're looking at like a, I don't know, like 100k heal or something like that. If I'm reading that right, maybe 80k heal, I could be wrong. It's gonna be times 4. So yeah, 24, 40, 60, 80,000 heal. When, well, plus your healing effect and all that stuff. So it could go up to 100. When the effect duration naturally ends or is refreshed, restores HP equal to 200% of the caster's attack for the bearer. So it's going to fall off. It's going to be used. Whatever, he takes a little bit more damage. He goes back into unyielding. They go back into getting their Serene Breath activated. They go back into over here where the Rage Regen is coming back in. We're having that immunity to all damage for 5 seconds. It's just crazy, right? And the Rage Regen is going to come back pretty quickly, right? So yeah, this hero is kind of busted for GVG. There's not going to be a better healer. The only thing that is kind of a disadvantage compared to some is going to be the range. So it's just like a forward range. Unlike Lily, you can't bring a Piercer Faction Lord and extend the range or anything like that. But that being said, typically you really only need to heal your tank, and it's not that hard to get this type of range of a healer into the right positioning to take care of your team. All right, onto the Awakening. Sorry about all the blabber on the skill kit. I'm just trying to explain it the best I can here. Awaken level 1, direct healing from basic attack and Healing Prayer applies an additional 1 instance of 15% healing to allies with Serene Breath. So it's another pop of heal, you know? Yeah, so Awaken level 2 is a healing effect plus 8. One of the lamest healing effects you can get, but you know, she's so strong. How strong can your Awakenings actually be? So Awaken level 3, when Healing Prayer triggers, that's her ultimate, triggers healing when the bearer's HP drops below 75%, grants a damage increase as well. So if you think about a tank with Sumu Kong, you build them up really nice, like 70k HP or something like that. You're gonna give him a big old 50% damage boost. He is going to delete Kirby's, Munchers, whatever you want to call them, like they're nothing. Okay, it's gonna be tough to keep those guys alive going against teams that have Eirlys. When healing, prayer triggers a healing upon natural expiration or refresh, grants damage increase to all allies with serene breath. Typically, this is gonna be a lower one anyways, got plus 30%, but typically the only one you really need this to apply to is going to be your DPS unit, and that's going to be if you put it right behind the tank. So if you're bringing Eirlys, it's going to kind of enable you to put an actual fighter behind Kong most of the time, behind your tank, and get a massive damage boost of 50%. It's insane, guys. Okay, all right. So Awaken level 4 is going to be Rage Regen auto +1, yeah, because we needed more rage. And then Awaken level 5 is when Sanctuary of Light is triggered, reduces the hero's attack interval by 35% for 15 seconds. 35% attack interval reduction is also insane. That's actually really strong. It seems lame at first glance, but trust me, 35% attack interval reduction for 15 seconds is insane. Okay, all right. So yeah, so how did I decide to build her? So it's gonna be your typical Elowyn style build. You don't really have to worry about HP. Usually your healers outside of range. So it's going to go Invigoration or Wings of Grace set. Attack bonus on the bangle. Going for attack speed on the amulet, and then on the ring, no attack bonus again. You could opt for Rage Regen because the healing is just going to be so big. But once you get to like 100%, and you equip a Golden Scarab, a lot of times attack burn percentage is going to be your most optimal build. And we're going with attack speed, healing effect, rage regen, attack bonuses are going to be your substat priorities across the board. Same thing on the left side. Attack speed, rage regen, healing effect, attack bonus, salvation set works just fine. And same thing here. Other good options are going to be the Light's Grace set. That's going to be your next best bet. Same stats if you can get it, otherwise just go with salvation. Basically what this is going to give you is 5 more healing effect and an extra 10% rage regen. Not a big deal, either way you look at it, okay? You get a little bit extra main stat as well. Anyways, so I want to take her, oh wait, artifact as well. Golden Scarab, 100%. You want that ult coming back as soon as possible. If you go with a Rage Regen ring, maybe you decide to go with a Euphoric Orb for extra added support and adding some attack speed to your units on the field. This hero is going to work anywhere you could think of using something like Lily, anywhere you could think of using something like an Elowyn. As long as you don't need that Dispel, okay? So if you're looking for Rage Regen, you want that utility. It's not going to replace Elowyn, but it could definitely be used in a lot of those scenarios. It doesn't have a Wood Elf, so you're kind of stuck with that. So we're going to write it over to GBG and just check this hero out in GBG, okay? So let me edit the teams here. I'm going to show you this team here that I set up. It's going to be putting Ingrid back on the map, Kong, Eirlys, Draylin, and our Emerit. Okay, so this is the team that I kind of set up. I tried to test it with Kirby's, and yeah, it's just a really strong, solid team. Now, any hero you can get over like 60k HP back here is going to do really well, right? So Draylin's going to be offering extra coverage, extra damage reduction, all that good stuff, so extra healing. She's going to be offering the unkillable, the unyielding, all kinds of massive heals. Then we have Emerit reaching over here, offering crowd control, just a myriad of things, a little bit of anti-air. Then we also have ourselves Ingrid. Now, there's a good chance that this could be swarmed, but that's going to be their best bet in getting by. It's not that likely that that's going to happen, but anything's possible. You know, any team is beatable. It's just a matter of finding out how to beat that puzzle. But just to show you how strong this is and taking out some level 5 Kirby's, let's give it a shot, right? Because that's what this is all about. Let's see. Let's go back to solo practice, go to attack, and I actually decided to run myself Slaughter as a Lord because he's gonna give him extra stats for the Lord bonus, which I think is, oh, it's gonna be over here. 1 second. On the KS team, increases basic attributes of faction team demon soldiers by 15%. So your Kirby's gonna extra 15%. Then every 30 seconds, you're going to see this big effect come on the screen if you haven't seen Slaughter work before. Reduces damage of all enemy heroes on the battlefield by 10% for 10 seconds. For each additional faction team demon soldier in the team, reduces enemies heroes damage by an additional 5%. You can see we're going with 5 actual chaos heroes, so we're gonna extra 25%. That's gonna reduce that damage for 35% for 10 seconds. Just to kind of explain what's going on. Now, I actually never actually played Slaughter on the field. He doesn't need to be placed. He's kind of like sitting there in that Lord position. He does do some cool stuff. I've seen a few things, but in this test, we're not actually going to just deploy him. We're just going to put the Kirby's down. I'm going to put the spiders down, let them die off. We do have 538 KBP. It's not crazy. That being said, it's all about the Kirby's, right? It's just all about the Kirby's. And I should just tell you what, Grotesque Fiends. Everybody calls them Kirby's, or they call them Munchers, or whatever they want to call them. But it's Grotesque Fiend. That is the trouble with GVG, especially this season. So let's save the settings. Let's start the fight. And I just want to show you that it kind of holds off pretty strong. It really depends on how you decide to approach this. You could decide to approach this by placing some mages out there, blasting them with AoE damage. There's that effect from Slaughter. It's very cool. The whole screen just shows up with fire. But I'm going to just start off placing the Kirby back here. Grotesque Fiend, whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to go ahead and get our spiders back here. And then when he approaches up here, there's a couple different ways of approaching this. You could put a healer down to try to keep him alive a little bit longer. Hold off until you get the other Kirby out there. But in this case, we're just going to go ahead and place the other Kirby right away and hope that everything works out. You see he's holding off still. He's taking some big damage from Sun Wukong. He's being froze. Got crowd control going up. We do have a lot of things going on here. He should get some heals in just a moment. We're going to place these other spiders down. Ingrid's going to be shooting across all the way through here, taking out those spiders. And then you could see that they're both sitting there on the Draylen. Draylen's holding up pretty strong still at this point. Sun Wukong just absolutely deleted one of the Kirby's. It's super strong, I'm telling you guys. Look at Draylen is not going down. It's quite impressive if you ask me. However, the Kirby's are. Look at that damage. They just can't hold up. Now maybe I'm not using the Grotesque Fiend properly. That could be quite a possible scenario. But at the same time, I can't be using it that wrong, right? I don't think I'm using it that wrong. I'm gonna go ahead and place this Kirby down here. I'm gonna go ahead and place the spiders over here. And I'm gonna try to get a healer out behind. Typically you can actually just put down one of the fools and try to help shield a little bit if you wanted to. But in this scenario, I'm just trying something a little different. There's an extra damage reduction coming from Slaughter. And the healing is helping. Let's get this other spider out. They just can't do it, man. They just can't stay alive. It's just not working. It's quite something else. And Draylen is actually super impressing me right now with that damage. Once that stuff falls off, Kirby's are gone, guys. Super strong, super strong. You can see that healing is super efficient. And it just kind of seems like it's built for GVG. All right, so we're gonna go back in here. I'm gonna set these teams up just like this. I'm actually gonna pull Ingrid into a different position so she's not really interfering with anything. Then we can see just how strong it is with the support on Draylen and how much damage can Draylen actually take. So we're gonna save this one here. She's gonna be able to take a lot. I can tell you right now. Maybe if the Kirby stay alive, they can take her down. There's a good chance that that's gonna happen. Let's go back into solo practice. We will attack that team. Same old demons. 538k BP. Not crazy, but it's decent enough. And let us get these Kirby's out again. Kirby Muncher Grotesque Fiends. Whatever the community decides to call them, right? Alright, so because I can't spawn, well, nothing's going to take these spiders out. They're just going to end up driving by, I think, which is not going to work. I'm going to need some kind of damage in here. Maybe they'll go by and the Grotesque Fiend will stick around. Oh, no, they're actually doing all right. Okay, so let's get the other Grotesque Fiend out. Another set of spiders. Okay, the spiders are just gonna walk through. Maybe that Grotesque Fiend's gonna just pass through. Okay, the spiders decided to walk through. Oh no, there goes one of their fiends. Well. I mean, you can see what's happening here. So let's slow it down. Wish I could zoom in. Okay, there we go. There's 46k heals. Oh, actually, it looks like it's like 20k heals, 58k, 58k. They just can't seem to do a ton of damage here. Let's get Slaughter on the field and see what happens. I'm hoping the Fiend doesn't walk by. I guess it doesn't really matter. But yeah, this Eirlys is actually holding up relatively well. Relatively well here. Try another healer. It's like she's invincible. It's like you can't take her down. Gets a little loss in health. If he drops below 75%, she has an unyielding that's coming in every 50 seconds. She just keeps going in more unyielding. Looks like Slaughter's gonna walk through. Yep, there he goes. He's just kind of passing through now. Okay. Yeah, so like nothing's happening. Maybe the Kirby's would be a little stronger if I put some DPS in there, but I think you guys get the point here. Eirlys is going to be insane. Is it necessary for all of you? No. But if you would like to pull Elowyn and you don't have an Elowyn, it's going to work. It's going to work very, very good for you. The heals are massive. They're huge. Elowyn actually only heals like 3 at a time, but she has the Wood Elf. But she does have the global rage regen. Actually, Eirlys is going to offer more rage regen to whatever she's healing that has the Serene Breath. It's like a mix max. You know, you could use Eirlys anywhere. It's not just GVG. So most anticipated hero in this last group of 3 heroes coming down is definitely, for me, is going to be Eirlys. I'm just super pumped about the hero. I don't really know what else to say. It's just crazy how good she is. Okay, go back to the healer here. Just a few points here. This is A0. Those Eirlys could have been much tankier with some awakenings here on Eirlys. But you can just see how powerful that is without even having it. And then Awaken level 3, Sumu Kong would have been much more nuttier, getting that damage increase on there as well. Guys, I think that this is definitely the most anticipated hero of the month. At least it might even be the most anticipated hero for the next couple of months, because it is actually really strong. Might be underplayed a little bit, but if you want to go and check out the kit yourself, you can see it in the game. But if you want to see my hero guide on it, you can head over to prospector.gg, type in the top of the search bar here, just type in Eirlys and hit enter, and it's going to take you directly to the hero guide page. You can see everything in here, including the sets that I suggest using, the artifacts I suggest using, the attributes compared to other healers, or attributes compared to all other heroes, the awakenings. Smashing Canes is working on the BP, that'll be in there pretty soon, and the ratings for all of the stages. Pretty much anywhere she can go down, she has a high rating, and some videos as well. That being said, I do rate her at like a 4.8 to a 5-star, something along those lines. As you can see, she is just that powerful. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember to check out Discord. Remember to check out Twitch. Let me know down in the comments what you think of Eirlys. Are you excited for her? Are you going to pull her? And oh, she is also in the normal summoning pool as well. She's not an ancient exclusive. Anyways, I've been the Prospector. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, keep digging.